week in we are traveling to Paris, and there's one place in Paris called the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Now, the cathedral is known for their famous stained glass windows, and this week we are creating an artwork inspired by stained glass. It could be abstract, it can look like something. So think about the shapes, abstract lines, and colors in your work. So I'm gonna flip my camera and I wanna show you one of the pieces I actually created in stained glass. A few years ago, it is composed of squares, rectangles, and circles to create a geometric shape. So there's my stained glass, and I'm going to show you how to create a stained glass, not using glass, but actually using markers, crayons, whatever you have at home on paper. So before I begin, I want to share some of my samples that I created this morning so we can get ideas to create your own stained glass design. Now, I'm going to start with my first one. So the first one I did, I simply just found something to trace a circle with, and I just kept on tracing my circle, and then I colored in the different spaces using, I think, 4 different colors, making sure that the same color doesn't match. The second one I did is I just drew a whole bunch of lines coming in at the angle, and I kind of used a pattern like every other color, but then I also threw in some just random colors. The third one I just made some swiggly shapes, and I'm going to kind of create someone sort of like this one for my sample. And you can pick as many colors as you want to use. It's totally up to you. Now, my favorite one that I just created, and it's a little tacky and still wet, I did this with watercolors. The other ones I use markers, so you can use any supplies that you have. So this is the one that I recently created. So I'm going to show you how to do one similar to this, but you can do any style you want to. You can find objects around your house that you can trace and then color in. So think stained glass windows are sometimes very geometric shapes. So there's straight lines, there's shapes inside the piece, and there's also sometimes organic shapes. So some curves rather than lots of straight lines. So I'm just going to move these aside. And I'm just going to start on a piece of paper. Now, your paper can be any size. This is just a quarter of like normal size sheet. So if this was my normal size sheet, you can see how small it is. It's okay to work small, but you can work big too. So it's totally up to you. If you work small, you can do a little bit faster. So I am going to just take my Sharpie. Now you can use pencil first or crayons, markers, whatever you want to do to draw your lines. So I'm just going to start somewhere, and I'm just going to create lines. I'm going to kind of go slowy and zigzaggy, and I'm just going to kind of travel around with my marker on my paper, making sure to overlap some spaces. Now, I made some curved lines. Next, I'm going to make some just straight lines, and you can decide where you want to put them on your paper. So I just want to break up my space that I'm creating. So let's see, maybe I'll make another curve one here. Alright, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's all I created. So you can also just do straight lines if you want to, and then just color in the spaces. So I am going to use my watercolors, and I'm just simply going to paint in my spaces.